welcome to Study Live. We are doing chemical equilibria MCQs, and that we are going to do level 3 MCQs. So level 3 is said to be little bit complicated thinking level questions. Yes, so you need to be very much precautious while solving this type of MCQs. Few difficult formulas also you need to learn for solving this type of MCQs. So what is first question that is in front of you? Let's try to understand. If 2 moles each of A and B were allowed to come to equilibrium at 300 Kelvin temperature, for the reaction A and B at equilibrium, that is forming a product C and D, that is the reactant and product are present at equilibrium. This is reversible type of reaction which is given to us in front of us. They have given standard Gibbs free energy, okay, that is minus the standard Gibbs free energy is given to us, which is 460 Kelvin. The equilibrium concentration ratio of C to A they have asked us. Yes or no? So I am hoping you understood this part very well. Delta G naught means standard Gibbs free energy. Okay, they have given to us in calorie. Okay, please student, this is very important. They have given us in the calorie. Units are very important, okay, while solving this type of question. So how we will deal it? But obvious, the thing that is given to us, we'll try to find out the answer from that thing only. So delta G value is given to us. So from delta G, which formula we are going to use? So can we say, student, from delta G, the formula that we know and that you should also remember, delta G naught will be equals to minus what? Minus 2.303 RT log to the base 10 of K. What is K, student? But obvious, over here K is the constant. Yes or no? Equilibrium constant. So what is our strategy should be? What should be our strategy in this case? From delta G naught we will be finding K value, that is equilibrium constant value, and from equilibrium constant value we will be able to find out the ratio of C to A. This should be our strategy. Yes, so let's start. Whom we are waiting for then? Let's substitute the value and get the answer. But the only difference, two major hurdles for this type of question is, number one hurdle is, student, R. R is a gas constant and R is showing different values in different units. You need to be precautious over here. Please try to understand this part. Over here we are going to take R ka value as 2. Why? Because delta G value is given in calorie. Okay, so for R, that is gas constant ka value in calorie is what? 2. Okay, 2 calorie per mole. Yes or no? Now let's try to understand. 2 calorie per Kelvin per mole is the value. So let's substitute the value and try to get the answer. So for delta G, can I say I want log K will come over here. We will have delta G naught, that is minus delta G naught, student, upon 2.303 RT. Let's substitute the value and get the answer. So we'll be having delta G naught value, student, it's already given to us. What is that? We have 460 divided by 2.303 multiply by R 2 calorie per Kelvin per mole, as I have discussed with you. So it's 2 into temperature, where it is 300 Kelvin. Yes or no? So just write 300 over here. You need to do this simple calculation, student. You need to do this simple calculation, and the answer you will get it as what? Student, one thing I forgot over here. Which one thing I forgot? To put this negative sign. See, negative sign is over here, right? Right? So we'll be getting answer as minus 0.33. This is the value for log K. But we want answer for K, not the log K. Yes or no? So how we will be dealing with it? So we want to find the answer for K. So simple calculation you need to do over here, student. So which calculation you need to do? First and important part, therefore, so we can say that over here log k value is what? Minus 0.33. So if I want to find out k ka value, I need to take anti-log of this number, but the simple problem is that student, we can take log of negative number, but we can't take directly anti-log of negative number. So what we are going to do? We are going to do one simple thing over here. To do the anti-log of negative number, you must be knowing this method. Yes, what we are going to do, student? We have 0.33, yes or no? So we are going to divide, so we are going to subtract it from 1, yes or no? And by this way, we are going to do plus 1, minus 1, and by this way, we are going to convert into positive number, and then we are going to take its anti-log. I am hoping you know this method. If you don't know, go through the study live videos, you will get this, how to get negative number ka anti-log. It is going to be very useful for you. Yes, student. So the negative number ka anti-log that we are going to get, the value will be, we will be getting is 0.464. This is the value that we will be getting. Am I clear with this? Am I clear with this? Yes. So k value we have got. Now what? Yes. So the major important part for our question is over. Now we know this from law of mass action, student. The question that we have, let's go to the question first. From this equation, student, okay, can we say that if I am applying the law of mass action, student, if I am applying the law of mass action, what will be that? But obvious, your answer should be molar concentration of product upon molar concentration of reactant raised to their moles. Yes or no? So in our question, we'll be having molar concentration of C into molar concentration of D upon molar concentration of A into B. But can we say, student, in this case, if you see in the question, the molar concentration over here, we can assume it as the same. Yes or no? Because the moles which is given is same. Yes or no? So we can simply say over here, students, since moles of C and D are same, we are assuming that molar concentration of C and D are equal. Similarly, we are assuming that molar concentration of A and B are also same. Okay, so C and D concentration same, A and B concentration same. Assuming this part, then only we will be able to get our answer. Yes, student. Now, so let's substitute the value over here, student. So what we will be getting? We will be getting it as C square upon A square. Yes or no? I'm hoping you understood this part and how we have got this. Yes. Okay. So almost we have reached to our answer. So we have k ka value that we have already found out. So let's substitute the value. So we have 0.464 is equals to C ka square, molar constant of C, and but always A square. But obvious, you will do the square root of this number and you will get the answer for the question that they have asked for us. Yes or no? So you will take a square root and just tell me, therefore I'm writing it over here, molar concentration of C ratio to the molar concentration of A. What answer you will get? Just find out and tell me. Okay, so the answer you will get is approximately equals to what? Yes, it is approximately equals to 0.68. Am I clear with this? So which is nothing but option number what, student? Yes, it is option number C. Yes or no? Definitely. See, while explaining you, we may take a little bit more time because you are doing it for the first time. Understanding is more important. So if such type of question comes in your exam, so delta G naught value is given, you find out the K value from it, that is equilibrium constant, and from equilibrium constant you find the concentration of whatever thing they have asked us to us. Yes, student, I'm hoping you understood this complex question also very well. Let's go to our next question. So students, we have our next question in front of us, which says that under what conditions of temperature and pressure the formation, now pay attention to this very carefully, the formation of atomic hydrogen from molecular hydrogen will be favored most. Means student, in short, we have to prepare atomic hydrogen from what? From molecular hydrogen. Yes or no? Now listen to this very carefully. We have molecule of hydrogen. Yes, from that we want to prepare atomic hydrogen. Okay, we need to break the bond in between. So for the breaking of bond, can I say we need to increase the temperature? Temperature increases, kinetic energy increases, attractive force decreases. What do you say? Yes or no? So can I say the high temperature is the basic criteria? But for the pressure, can I say I need to give the atoms to separate? Okay, I need to give them space so that they can separate and take the different space. Yes or no? So can I say I need to give them high temperature and low pressure? Yes or no? By this condition, our molecular hydrogen will get converted into atomic hydrogen. I'm hoping this was a very easy question and you understood the concept behind it also. Let's move on to our next question. So students, we have our next question in front of us, which says that calculate the degree of dissociation if vapor density of the equilibrium mixture of NO2 and N2O4 is found to be 40 for the given reaction. Okay, the reaction is an equilibrium. New terms are in front of us. Let's try to understand. See student, I am going to elaborate the explanation more over here so that you understand this very well. Okay, so we may going to take little more time for this, but your understanding is much more important for us. Yes, so first an important thing student, the terms that is involved over here, they have told us to find degree of dissociation, right? So let's assume that degree of dissociation as x. We have assumed degree of dissociation as x. Assume it, okay? Then the vapor density, this is a new term that they have given to us. Yes, so vapor density student. So I am assuming that vapor density symbolizes, I am doing it as small d. The value which is given to us is what? Just see the question. Yes, absolutely. It's 40 they have given to us, right? Degree of dissociation we have vapor density. Okay, how we will deal with this type of question? For this type of question student, we need to use one value. See, if this type of question asked in your exam, you need to be ready how to tackle it. Okay, so first an important part that you need to do over here, let me give you one formula. First and important, you need to find out the molecular weight of N2O4. What is the molecular weight of N2O4? You need to calculate. Nitrogen is 14, oxygen is 16. So 14 2s are 28, 28 plus 64. What answer you will get? Will answer that we will get is around 92. Agree with me? So this thing we are calculating. So I am writing one term over here, that is theoretical. I am writing in short, theoretical molecular weight. Yes student, we have one formula student where we know that theoretical molecular weight is equals to density into 2. This is the formula. This is a formula that you need to learn. You need to know. Okay. So theoretical molecular weight is always equals to density into 2. Fine. So from this formula, can we say that we will be able to find out the value of D, capital D density? So can we say that capital D would be around 92 divided by 2? Answer would be what? Yes, answer would be around 46. Yes. So till here, I am hoping you got everything. Yes or no? You understood everything. So capital D, the density we need to calculate from the theoretical molecular weight. Okay. Now, the next formula, for the next formula, I am just turning a page little bit so that we will have more space to write. To find out the value of X student, degree of dissociation, the formula is density, that is theoretical density that we have calculated, subtracted with the vapor density divided by the vapor density again. Okay, let's substitute the value and get the answer. We know the value as we have already found out the value of density. Yes student, yes, it is 46 and small d vapor density is 40. Yes or no? So density we have calculated from theoretical molecular weight, vapor density is 40 divided by 40. If you do this, you will get the value of degree of dissociation, which is X. What would be the calculated value? Do it fast and tell me your answer. So X value would be approximately around 0.15. Yes or no student? I'm hoping you understood this part very well. So our answer over here in this case, don't you think it would be nothing but 0.15? Yes student? Important part over here for you is to calculate theoretical molecular weight and from that density and use the formula of degree of dissociation. Am I clear with this? Let's go to our next question. So students, we have our next question in front of us, which says that predict which of the following reaction will have appreciable concentration of reactant and products. Yes, so we have three reactions in front of us and their Kc value, equilibrium constant value, is given to us, and the D option says that all the appreciable concentration of reactant and products. Okay, this is the question that is front of us. Now comes the theoretical part. If you have read the chapter carefully, you will able to answer this type of question in within 10 seconds. Yes student, this type of question you can answer within 10 seconds, but for that theory you should know very well. Yes student, so what is the theory behind it? Let me try to explain you that first. Okay, so theory is something like this. If Kc equilibrium constant, okay, is more. See, Kc is also equilibrium constant in terms of concentration. We'll just say equilibrium constant right now. Okay, if Kc is more, okay, if Kc is more, product stability is more. Okay, so we can say if Kc is more, product stability, I'm writing in short, product is more. Okay, if Kc is less student, if Kc is less, product is less. So if the product is less, what is going to be more? So we will say, ma'am, in reaction we have product and reactant only. So can I say if Kc is less, product is less, in short reactants are more? Reactant is more. So how will you remember? You will remember like this is that Kc relates with product. If Kc is more, forward reaction will be more, stability of product will be more. Okay, if Kc is less, backward reaction would be more. Okay, stability of reactant would be more. Am I clear with this? In short, Kc proportional to product. Remember like this way, shortcut trick I am giving it to you. Okay, now we will say, ma'am, more and less. Yes, but what is the value of it? Who is going to tell us? So for that you need to remember, if Kc ka value, student, I am giving you another value for it. If Kc value is greater than 10 raised to 3, then we are going to say product concentration would be more. Am I clear with this? But student, if Kc ka value is less than 10 raised to minus 3, 10 raised to minus 3, so much less. Okay, so if Kc is less, product less, reactant more. Yes or no? So this two value you need to remember. So if Kc value is greater than 10 raised to 3, more product. Kc value less than 10 raised to minus 3, reactant more. But what if student, Kc ka value is in between, it is in between, I would say, Kc in between 10 raised to minus 3 to 10 raised to 3, then what would be the case? So can I say, student, at this case, at this condition, whatever they have asked in our question, that we have both reactant and product concentration in appreciable amount. Am I clear with this? Yes, student. So when we have Kc value in between 10 raised to minus 3 to 10 raised to 3, we'll have both reactant as well as product in our reaction. So just go through the option and tell me in which among the four, precisely 3 Kc ka value, the value of Kc lies between 10 raised to minus 3 to 10 raised to 3. If your answer is option number B, you are absolutely right. See, it is 10 raised to 8. Yes or no? Definitely 3.7 into 10 raised to 8. So it is in between. Yes, so this is the correct answer. I'm hoping you understood this part very well, theory behind it. If you understood once, so in exam you will able to solve this type of question very well, or if some twist and turn also comes, you can able to tackle it. Yes student, let's move on to our next question. Students, we have our next question in front of us, which says that Ka1, Ka2, Ka3 are the respective ionization constant. Please pay attention, they are the ionization constant for the following reactions. 3 reactions are given to us. So let's assume that for this reaction we have Ka1, for this reaction we have Ka2, and for this reaction we have Ka3. Am I clear with this? Yes. Now, so we need to find out the relationship between all these 3 ionization constant. For that student, I want you to pay attention to this very carefully. You know, sometimes student, options only give the answers. Okay, options only will lead us to the answer. How? You will say, ma'am, how in this case? So you just see in all the options that is given to you in front of you, everywhere they have given in terms of Ka3 only. Yes, so Ka3 relationship between Ka1 and Ka2, and everywhere it is given to that. So just focus on the Ka3 and how Ka1 and Ka2 is related to it. Students, now please listen to this very carefully. Please listen to this very carefully. If student, I'm mixing this 2 reaction, I'm mixing this first and second reaction, but obvious HS minus is the intermediate. So anything which is formed in one reaction getting consumed in the second reaction, there is no existence of it. Yes or no? So we are going to simply cancel this out. Yes or no? So if I add reaction number 1 and reaction number 2, what I'm telling you this is your reaction number 1, this is your reaction number 2. If you add reaction 1 and 2, what you will get? Just see, can I say we will get reaction number 3? Definitely yes or no? So if I add reaction number 1, reaction number 2, we are going to get reaction number 3. H2S is in equilibrium with 2H plus N plus H2 minus. So product is 2H plus and H2 minus, and our reactant is H2S. Am I clear with this? One rule is there. Student, let me help you over here. The rule says that, okay, when you add any reaction, writing reaction short way, when you add any reaction, their constant, okay, multiply their constant, okay. So if I am adding any reaction, I need to multiply their constant. If I am subtracting any reaction, I need to divide their constants. Am I clear with this? Okay. So in this case, we are adding equation 1 and 2. So their ionization constant, we are going to multiply it. Yes. So can I say now the thing will be happen, which is Ka3 would be equals to Ka1 plus की जगह पे क्या आएगा? Yes, definitely we'll have the multiplication side Ka2. Am I clear with this? So which option is correct? Just tell me fast. But obvious, option number A is the correct answer. I'm hoping you're going to now remember this important line very well. If you're adding, to multiply with the constant. If you are subtracting any reaction, then do the division with the constants. Am I clear? Let's move on to our next question. So students, we have our next question in front of us. Please be attentive for this type of question. Nitric oxide reacts with bromine and gives nitrosyl bromide as per reaction given below. In the reaction, we have 2 moles of nitric oxide reacts with 1 mole of bromine to give 2 moles of nitrosyl bromide. Yes or no? Now they have given us the concentration. When 0.087 moles of nitric oxide reacts, we know that when 0.087 moles of nitric oxide and 0.437 mole of bromine are mixed in a closed container at constant temperature, they have said that 0.0518 moles of nitrosyl bromide is obtained at equilibrium. Yes, they have asked us the equilibrium amount of nitric oxide and bromine are respectively what? Okay. Now, first and important thing, students. First question that should come in your mind is, ma'am, in this question only, they have already given us the value of, see over here, they've already given us the value as 0.087 moles of nitric oxide and 0.0437 moles of bromine. So then why they are asking the second value? Students, the value that they have given is, in the beginning of the reaction we have taken this much amount of nitric oxide and this much amount of bromine. Yes, in question they have asked us at equilibrium, means after starting the reaction, when they reach the equilibrium, how much amount of nitric oxide and bromine are there. Yes, so please, the different value they have asked, the value that they have given is in the beginning what we have taken, okay, and whatever they have asked is at equilibrium what is the amount. Understand the difference. Understanding the question is more important rather than getting the answer. Am I clear? Second mistake that student does is, they don't see the order. First they have asked us about the nitric oxide value, then they have asked us the bromine. Okay, so option may be wahi dekhne ka, that first find the nitric oxide, see where it is, and second is bromine. Am I clear with this? Okay, I don't want this silly mistakes also done by you, so I am warning you before only. First and important thing for this type of question, you need to write the equation. But obviously I am doing it with you for the first time, so I am explaining it in detail. Okay, in exam I want you to miss few steps. If you want, you can do orally also, that would be great, that is going to save your time. But if you are confident about it, then only you do. Okay students, so let's start with writing the equations over here. So the equation that we have is 2 nitric oxide, 2 moles of nitric oxide combines with 1 mole of bromine to form what? It is to form 2 moles of nitrosyl bromide, 2 NOBr, and we know the students that they are in equilibrium with each other. Am I clear with this? Now go through the values which is already given to us. Which value is already given? See over here, as we have discussed, the values are already given. That 0.087 moles of nitric oxide we have taken initially. So let's write it, students. We have taken 0.087. okay, how much amount of, see I am using a smaller version of ink for you, okay, so that, because see so much writing is there now, so let's use the smaller version. Okay, so we have 0.087 moles of nitric oxide. We have bromine is what, student, help me with this, 0.0437. Am I clear? This is for the beginning of reaction. So beginning is, so time equals to 0. I am writing 0 means no reaction have yet started. We are just starting the reaction, initiating the reaction. Am I clear? So if no reaction has yet started, so can I say no product is yet been formed? So can I say this is going to be big 0 because no product is yet been formed. Am I clear with this? Now, can I say that at equilibrium, means after some time, or we will say at equilibrium, yes, how much amount of product, whatever amount of product has been formed, that much amount of reactant is going to get consumed. I am repeating myself, whatever amount of product that has been formed, that much amount of reactant it is going to get consumed. Am I clear with this? Fine. So let's assume this X amount of product it has been formed. Yes, student. So can I say that much amount of reactant it is going to get consumed? Yes or no? So we will have 0.087 minus X, 0.0437 minus X. Am I clear? Now comes your shortcut. Okay, for MCQ I'm giving you what easiest shortcut. X के बाजू में, okay, beside X, in front of X, in the prefix, you need to write the number which is present in the moles for the balanced chemical equation. Means what I am trying to tell you, student. Let me give you the idea. See over here, it is written 2, so I am going to write 2x. Am I clear? So the balanced chemical equation, whatever moles it is written, you need to write it in the prefix part for the X. Okay, or simply we can say you multiply that number with X. Am I clear? So again, can I say over here it is also 2? You will say, ma'am, here it is also 2, right? So I'm going to write 2 over here also. Nothing is here, so means 1. So it is also 1. Nothing other than that. Am I clear with this? I'm hoping everyone understood this part very well. So for doing this type of question, multiply X with the number which is present in the balanced chemical equation. So over here we had 2 NOBr, 2 nitrosyl bromide, so I multiplied it by 2x. Am I clear with this? This is the very important part. And if you understood this, if you do the correct step over here, then only you will get the correct answer. Am I clear with this? Okay, so let's go with the next part. So the next part, student, please read the question. They have already given us, you must have not noticed it, that 0.0518 moles of nitrosyl bromide is obtained at equilibrium. Yes, so at equilibrium, whatever 2x we have, can I say it is for the nitrosyl bromide? So I'm writing it over here, students. Let's have a little bit space. So whatever that we have, so means 2x, just a second. So students, in this case, yes, whatever 2x we have, that is for the nitrosyl bromide at equilibrium, the amount which is given to us, which is nothing but what? 0.0518. Yes, we are going to simply find the x ka value because, but obviously see over here, we have 0.087 minus 2x. So if we get the x ka value, we will be able to get the concentration at equilibrium. That's as easy as. Okay, so we have what, student? Therefore we have x value is equals to 0.0518 divided by 2. Let's do just simple division. What answer will we get? Therefore x value that we are going to get would be 0.02 to what? 259. Approximately this value we are going to get. Yes or no? Now this is the second step. We have got our x ka value. But do we have to find the x ka value? You will say, no ma'am, we have to find the equilibrium concentration for NO and Br. Yes or no? So use this equation, student. Use this and use this equation. Substitute x ka value over here and get the answer. This is going to be our third step. Am I clear with this? Okay. So we will be having our third step, that is the last step of this question, for the nitric oxide NO. Yes, at equilibrium. Writing in short over here. What equation we have formed, student? It is 0.08. What was the value? 0.087 minus 2x, right? 87 minus 2x. Yes. See, student, 2x value already we have. You no need to find out the more, multiply the value. Okay, 2x value we already have. Okay, so can I say 0.087 minus 0.0512? So 8 minus 5, approximately answer is going to be, student, 0.03, something like that. Okay, then again we have concentration of bromine that we want. Okay, the equation that we have it 0. See, this is the equation that you need to use. Okay, 0.0437 minus x. So we have 0.0437 minus x. Just see if I am doing any writing mistake, number writing, then please tell me. You be careful. I will say some little bit like that. Okay, so you be careful, not do the same mistake. Okay, if you find anything. So it is what? 0.0437 minus x is what? 0.0259. So yeah, just do minus 0.0259. So 4 minus 2. What would be approximately value, student? Can I say it is going to be approximately around 0.19 something? So because it's 37 and 57. So I'm writing approximately as 0.02. Fine. Yes. So 0.03 and 0.02. Just see in the option. Okay, so can I say we have option number A, which is almost matches with our answer, is 0.03. But obviously, if you do the division, it is going to be less than 0.02 only, yes, because it's 437 and 0.257. Okay, it's 437,257. So it is going to be less than 0.02. I've done it orally. I want you to get the precise answer. Okay, I want you to get the precise answer. So can I say by this way, we'll be going to get the answer as the option number A. Am I clear with this? I'm hoping you understood this part very well. First and important, see, for this type of question, only important part is that to form this equilibrium equation. Okay, shortcut trick I have given to you. What was that? Please tell me. For x, multiply with that number which is present in the mole part in the balanced chemical equation. That is the simplest trick you can use to get the correct equation and correct answer. Okay, I am hoping everyone understood this question very well. If yes, then let's move on to our next question. Students, we have our next question in front of us, which says that the value of Kc for each of the following equilibria are respectively. First equilibrium reaction that is in front of us, in which we have 2 moles of nitrosyl chloride in the gaseous state reacts to form, or I'll say decompose to form 2 moles of nitric oxide, and it liberates the chlorine gas with it. The Kp value is given to us at 500 Kelvin temperature. Similarly, we have next reaction in which calcium carbonate, which is present in the solid state, again decomposes to form calcium oxide solid state, and carbon dioxide gas has been liberated. Okay, Kp value is given to us at 1073 Kelvin temperature. You must be wondering, ma'am, why you are always emphasizing on solid or gas, it is liberated and so on and so forth. Because student, in this type of question, whether the whatever reactant or product you have in the reaction, whether it is present in solid or gaseous state or which state it is present, it plays a very important role. Okay, so please make sure state, you know the state, in which state it is present. Why? We will explain in this question also. Okay, we're going to explain this in this question. First, an important thing, what is the relationship between Kp and Kc? Because in the question they've asked us to find the value of Kc, yes or no? So they have asked us to find out the value of Kc, but they have given us the Kp value. Yes, so what is the relationship between Kp and Kc? Please think. But obvious, we have already discussed this in our normal lecture, that Kp is equals to Kc into RT raised to delta n. We know this part, yes or no? Very well. Now pay attention carefully. Everywhere R value is there. R value is R is what? Gas constant. So the R value, student, that we are going to take over here would be 0.0821 liter ATM per Kelvin per mole. Remember this, okay? Liter, its unit is liter ATM per Kelvin per mole. Am I clear with this? Okay. Now, temperature already specified. You need to take temperature in Kelvin only, because in R ka constant temperature is in Kelvin. Okay. So, if the temperature is not given in Kelvin, you convert it in Kelvin by adding 273 to it if it is in the degree Celsius. I am hoping you know how to convert degree Celsius into Kelvin. Yes. But right now, they have given in Kelvin, so we are going to use this temperature. Am I clear? So R value we know, Kp value is given, T is given, yes, delta n is the thing in which you need to be very careful, very careful, student, okay? So please be attentive for finding the delta N value. What is N? N is number of moles. What is delta N? Number of moles of product minus number of moles of reactant. You must have studied this, yes or no? So the formula for delta N is equals to number of moles of product minus number of moles of reactant. Yes, student? So let's find out the number of moles value for the first equation, that we have. Okay, I'm going to simultaneously solve for the both the equation over here. Okay, so you can get the idea about it. For the first question, what is number of moles? See, in the balanced equation, whichever number by which we have balanced it, that is your number of moles. Am I clear? So for the first, this is the first equation that we have. So number of moles of NO is 2. Cl is this, nothing is written, so I'll consider it as a 1. Yes, student? So we have 2 plus 1. Am I clear? Then we have minus reactant, so we are going to do minus over here. Reactant, it is written 2 over here, so I'll write it 2. Yes, so what will be the answer, student? But obvious, so delta N value for the first equation would be 1. Am I clear with this? Any doubt over here? No? That's great. Now let's do it for the second equation also. But obvious, in the first equation, all the reactant and products are present in the gaseous state only. Okay, remember over here the delta N. Remember, student, over here whatever delta N we are going to use, they all are present, they all should be present in the gaseous state only. Therefore I have specified the in which state it is present. Okay, so whatever delta N we are going to use, they all should be present in the gaseous state only. Am I clear with this? Okay, so for the second question, second equation, student, please pay attention over here. So we have solid over here, we are not going to consider it. That's for sure. Okay, it is in the gaseous state, nothing is written ahead, so we're going to consider it as 1. So it is 1 minus. In the reactant side, student, it is in the solid state. Can you see over here solid? So we are not going to consider it. Yes, so it's 0 over here. So 1 minus 0, answer is 1. So it is Ng. That is delta N, number of moles. We are considering gaseous state, so I have written G over here, so that you will remember that you need to find out for gaseous state only. You can simply write it as delta N also, it's fine, but to remind you that we are finding for gaseous state, I am writing G over here. Am I clear with this? Fine. So delta N for both the equation we have found out. Yes, but obviously we are going to find Kc value for both this equation. So let's start with this. So I am writing below only so that you will get the better idea over here. So student, use this formula to get the answer. So can I say, student, therefore Kc would be equals to Kp divided by what? What is the Kp value, student? You need to tell me, right? Kp value for the first equation is 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 2. Yes or no? Okay, I am writing this for you again with the bigger ink so that you will get it in a better way. Okay, so therefore we can say that from the equation that we have already discussed, Kc would be equals to what? Kp upon RT raised to delta. And I am missing one step. I am hoping you are going to get this step also very well. Okay, it's an easy step. Okay, I am just taking this whole part over here, right? So we are going to have Kp divide. What is the Kp for first equation, student? We have 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 2 divided by what value, student? R value is what? I have told you 0.0821. So it's 0.0821 multiplied by temperature. 500 Kelvin is given. Please see the question. Yes, over here see 500 Kelvin is already given. Multiply by 500 raised to delta N. What is delta N? We have found out for the first equation. It's 1 only. See, 1 only. So anything raised to 1. See, I am writing anything raised to 1. Is that answer only? If it is raised to delta N is 2, you need to do the square of it. 3, do the cube of it. Am I clear? So we have 1, means we have that number only right now. So just need to multiply and do the division and tell me which answer you are getting. Okay, can I say approximately answer that you will get is what? Around 4.38 into 10 raised to minus 4. Am I clear with this? This is the answer that you are going to get after doing this calculation. Please take your time and confirm. Yes? Second question, for the second equation, but obviously we need to find out for the second equation too. For the second equation, delta n value is 1. We have already got. Similarly, we need to put up in the same equation to get the value. So student, so use the same formula student. What you will have? Kc value is equals to Kp upon Rt raised to delta n. Definitely. So its Kp value is what student? See over here. This is a very important step. 167. So we have 167 divided by what number student? Divided by R into T. So R is what student? 0.0821 into 821, it is 1 student, into the temperature. Temperature is what? 1073. But obvious. Raised to delta n value is 1. As I have told you earlier, only anything raised to 1 is that number only. So you need to write it. Okay. Do the calculation and try to get up with the answer. What answer you will get? But obviously, the approximate answer you are going to get for this Kc value is equals to 1.89. Yes. So first equation we have got 4.38 into 10 raised to minus 4. So second we have got 1.89. So correct answer for this question is, so can you say the correct answer for this question is nothing but option number C. Student, for this type of question, only thing that you need to consider in your mind is delta n value. Delta n value, you're not going to consider for solid, you're only going to consider for gas or the ions. Am I clear with this? Yes. So let's move on to our next question. So students, we have our next question in front of us, which says that the equilibrium constant for the reaction which is given in front of us, that H2, hydrogen gas, combines with sulfur to give us hydrogen sulfide, okay, H2S, is 18.5. So equilibrium constant value is given, which is 18.5 at 925 Kelvin temperature and 9.25 at 1000 Kelvin temperature. Yes, the enthalpy for the reaction is, so student, over here at two different temperature we have two constant value. We need to remember K value, that is equilibrium constant value, changes with change in temperature. Therefore, we have got two different value of K, equilibrium constant, at two different temperature. Am I clear with this? Very well. They have asked us to find out the enthalpy for the reaction. Student, for this type of question, you need to remember the formula. If you know the formula, then only you will be able to solve this type of question. Yes. So please remember the formula. Formula is something like this. In formula, student, we have 2K values, yes or no? So we have to do log of it. Okay. Assume it over here. We need to do some assumptions. Okay. First, let me write the formula, then I will do the assumption wala part. So log K2 upon K1 is equals to student delta H. Delta H is what, student, over here, and delta H is your enthalpy of the reaction that we need to find out. Okay, 2.303. R is what, student? R is a gas constant. Yes, R multiply by 1 upon T1 minus what, student? Minus 1 upon T2. Am I clear with this? This is the simple formula, simple but very important formula that you need to remember. If you know this formula, then only you'll be able to solve question. Fine. Let's go ahead. Let's substitute the value. For substituting the value, student, can we say that we need to consider the temperature criteria also? Yes, student, definitely. So what we will be saying is that, okay, the K2 value that we have is what? Just see over here, K1 and K2 value which is given to us. So let's consider K2 value is as 9.25. Then can I say T2 value would be what, student? Can I say it would be 1000 Kelvin? But obvious. Then we have the K1 value. K1 value we are going to take it to what? 18.5. Read the question. 18.5. Then the T1 value would be how much, student? It is going to be 925 Kelvin. Am I clear with this? Yes, very easy. Okay. So K2, K1, T2, T1 value we have. R is a guess constant. What R value that we are going to take? Important question. So many of the time, student, options only give us the hint which R value should we take. We should take. Yes. So see over here, in all the options is given as kilojoule per mole. So R value which is present in joule, it is, yes, you are absolutely right, that is 8.314 joule per Kelvin per mole. Yes or no, student? It's joule per Kelvin per mole. That's it. Okay. R value we have taken. Okay. We have taken care of it. Delta H value that we need to find out. Yes or no, student? So whom you are waiting for? Let's substitute all the values and get the answer for it. Okay. So for that, let's substitute the value in the given question and try to get the answer for it. So we have log K2 upon K1. So it is 9.25 upon which is K1? 18.5. Now student, you need to be little more careful. Okay. So what you can do? You can do the divide of 9.25 divided by 18.5. Okay. Whatever number that you have, you can take a log of it, or simply what you can do, you can take log of 9.25, do the subtraction with the log of 18.5. But obvious, student, 18.5 is a bigger number than 9.25. Whatever answer you will get is a negative number. Remember, you're going to get the negative number. Okay. So can I say if I'm going to get the negative number, options will get, the correct answer options, the criteria, probability of getting the correct option will be, we are going to be very near to it. Okay. But obvious, why I have assumed this part? For a simple reason, it is that, student, log of 9.25 minus log of 18.5. So answer we will get is in negative number only, definitely. So I think you have got the idea which answer we are going to get. Am I clear? But let's not be in a hurry. Solve the complete part and then decide, then confirm that whatever assumption that we have done. Okay, students, so let's solve the complete part, then come to the conclusion. That would be better. Okay, so is equals to delta H upon 2.303, R value 8.314, as we have already discussed, 8.314. Okay, T1 value we have considered what? 925. So 1 upon 925 minus 1 upon 1000. But our student, you can do the cross multiplication, that is 1000 minus 925 multiplied by 925 into 1000 to get the answer. Okay. After doing all this calculation, the answer what you are going to get for delta H, who is going to tell me fast? Please do the calculation and tell me the answer. So the answer that we are going to approximately would be equals to 71,000. Approximately I am taking it, okay. But obvious approximation you can take. It is minus sign would be there. Minus 71,000 is going to be there. Joule. Okay, the answer will be in joule. Okay, joule per mole answer would be there. But if you see the option, all the options are given in kilojoules. So when we want to convert joule into kilojoule, what you are going to do? Divide by 1000. So the answer that we are going to get is option number C, minus 74 kilojoule per mole. So this type of question, formula has to be there. You need to remember the formula, then only you'll be able to solve this type of question. Calculation plays an important part because log calculation is going to take a little bit of your time. Okay, so be careful. The other thing that students do the mistake in hurry is that after doing the log, they take the anti-log because the habit is there. Na? After log, you need to take anti-log. Over here, no. They have asked only log, so you are going to take only log of it. No anti-log you are going to take. No anti-log. Okay, because they have asked only about the log, not the anti-log. Am I clear with this? So please be careful for this type of question. Yes, student. So I am hoping you understood this question very well. Let's move on to our next question. So students, we have our next question in front of us, which says that a mixture of 1.57 moles of nitrogen, the moles value which is given to us, 1.92 moles of hydrogen and 8.13 moles of ammonia is introduced into a 20-liter reaction vessel at 500 Kelvin temperature. At this temperature, the equilibrium constant, that is Kc, for the given reaction, the reaction that is present, that is given to us, 1 mole of nitrogen combines with 3 moles of hydrogen to form 2 moles of ammonia. They all are present at equilibrium. This is a very important value, which is a value of Kc, which is given to us 1.7 into 10 raised to minus 2. See, 10 raised to minus 2 is here. Okay, 10 raised to 2. I'm repeating myself, it is 10 raised to 2. Okay, so I'm repeating myself again, Kc value is given 1.7 into 10 raised to 2. Am I clear with this? Perfect. Now the answer that they are expecting from us, the options which is given in front of us, the true statement is reaction is at equilibrium, reaction goes into the direction of reactant, reaction goes into direction of product, none of the above. See student, none of the above can't be option. I will say 99.99% cases, none of the above can't be your answer. Okay, so you need to see when examiner don't have any other option to put, they give none of the above. Okay, so none of the above, most of the cases not going to be your answer. So you have to select the correct answer from the A, B, C, the remaining 3 options only. Okay, so we have reaction is at equilibrium or react direction towards the reactant or towards the product. We need to decide. How we can decide it? Important question. Yes, Kc value is given. Student, in the theory part we have already studied about Qc and Kc relationship. Do you remember? If Qc equals to Kc, then we are going to say the reaction is at equilibrium. Yes, student? If Qc is greater than Kc, then we are going to say the reaction is going in the backward direction, means the reaction, the direction of the reactant. Okay, so I will say backward reaction. Backward means reverse reaction. Backward reaction is the reaction of the reactant towards the reactant side. Okay, similarly student, what if Qc is less than Kc? But obvious student, for this also I have given you the trick in our previous question, and that is always Kc favors the product. If Kc is more, product is more, means stability of product is more, and the reaction also goes towards the product side. Am I clear? So if Kc is more, can I say the reaction will go towards the forward side, means forward reaction will be more, means reaction is going to be towards product side. Am I clear? So in short, for solving this type of question, you need to find out the value of Qc. Yes, and we know in the theory part, as we have discussed, what is the difference between Kc and Qc? The only difference between Kc and Qc is Kc is concentration of reactant and product at equilibrium, and Qc not at equilibrium. Yes or no? Definitely, formula to find out is same. But if they are talking about equilibrium, Kc, not equilibrium, Qc. That's it. Am I clear with this? Okay. So let's first of all find out from the equation, whatever value it is given to us, Qc value. If we get Qc, then only we will be able to get our answer. Yes. So for that, we need to form the equation for Qc. Yes. So equation is in front of us over here. Let's try to get the Qc equation. So as I said, it's just like Kc only. Molar concentration of product upon reactant raised to their moles in the balanced chemical equation. Yes or no? So we have product, molar concentration. Concentration is a square bracket. I'm hoping you know this part. Ammonia, moles it is given 2. So we'll have raised to 2. Definitely. Divided by reactant. So Qc is molar concentration of product upon molar concentration of reactant. Everywhere you just raise to its moles. Am I clear? So we have N2, nothing is written in the moles part. See over here, so I'm going to write 1 only. So nothing means 1, definitely. Over here it is 3, student. So what we are going to say, H2 raised to 3. So no, easy, very easy, right? What is the next step you are going to do? Substitute the value and get the answer. But student, don't solve the question in a hurry, because in exam they are in level 3 precisely, they are not going to give you that much easy question that substitute and get the answer. Some trickier part is there, so don't do it in a hurry, because I have used the word square bracket, means molar concentration, yes. And over here student, they have given the value in moles. Yes or no? So students, we know this part, that molar concentration means concentration is equals to number of moles upon volume. Don't forget this part, because if you miss this part, you will get the wrong answer. Yes? So we need to apply this formula in all the 3 components, means reactant as well as in product components, whatever. So we have nitrogen, hydrogen and ammonia, 3 components we have. In all of these 3 cases, number of moles divided by volume we need to do. Yes, so let's start one by one. Let's do it for nitrogen. For nitrogen student, for getting the concentration, okay, so nitrogen concentration I'm writing in the square bracket. Number of moles, student, see the question, number of moles is 1.57. So we'll say, ma'am, where is liter? What is liter? Liter means volume only, na? So for all of them, volume is 20 liters only. Am I clear with this? Okay, so it is 1. What was the value, student? Please tell me. 1.57 divided by 20. Nitrogen value you are going to substitute over here. Okay. Similarly, student, if I am talking about for hydrogen, so molar concentration of hydrogen, but I was divided by 20 has to be there. For hydrogen, the concentration is given 1.92 moles. Please read it over here. So we have 1.92 moles. That's it. And for ammonia, so molar concentration of ammonia, NH3, but obvious student, so it is going to be what? 8.13 divided by 20. This is the concentration, student. I am right. See over here, 8.13 divided by 20. This is the concentration value that you are going to use. Please be careful for this step. Okay. Now what? Let's substitute the value and get the answer. To save the time, I am not dividing this, okay, because if we divide, it is going to take more time. Ultimately, we are going to substitute in the formula and we are going to divide the 20, which is common in numerator and denominator part. Yes, student? So, just substitute these all values in this given equation. What thing we are going to get, student? Just help me with this. So, can I say ammonia, which is this? So, it is 8.13 divided by 20 ka square, yes, divided by nitrogen is what, student? 1.57 divided by 20 into hydrogen, it is cube. It's cube in hydrogen, yes. So we have 1.92 divided by 20 ka cube. Cube is there. Please be careful. This cube is given, okay. So student, can we use, as I said, a little trick over here? What is a little trick? Not going to divide by everything. In the over here, this square, okay, so this 20 is going to divide by this cube. Only 120 will remain as it is. Okay, its cube is there, so you just cancel 220 from here. 120 will remain like this. Okay. So students, we have to calculate. Easy numbers is there. This may going to take 2-3 minutes of yours. You need to calculate what answer you're going to get. Yes, but obviously I have given you, I have saved only 2-3 minutes of yours by cancelling the 20s, which is in the numerator and denominator part, which is common. Okay. So after doing the calculation, what value? Because but our student, we are finding the QC value. Okay. So what QC value you are going to get? Just pause the video and get the answer for it. So but always QC value that you will be getting is approximately, you may have got it, is 2.38 into 10 raised to 3, approximately you must have got it. Yes, moles per raised to minus 2. Why raised to minus 2? Because of the unit I have written, okay? Not matter much, but if you want precisely unit you need to write, okay? Not important for MCQ part, just extra knowledge. So over here we have got QC ka value as 2.38 into 10 raised to 3. Now as the discussion that we had in the beginning, you need to see the KC value that is given to us. What KC value, student, they have given? KC value they have given is 1.7 into 10 raised to 2. And we have got that is 10 raised to 3. So can I say in our case, QC value is more than KC value? So if QC value is more than KC value, can I say we are going to have the second criteria, that is backward reaction, okay? Backward means I will say backward reaction. Backward means towards reactant will be there, yes or no? So we have the backward reaction means toward the reactant side. What is going to be our correct answer? That is option number B. So reaction goes in the direction of reactant, that is backward reaction will be there, because we have got QC value which is more than KC value. So student, in this type of question, few things you need to take care. First an important part, the theory you need to know about QC and KC, first important. Then you need to find out the concentration, the value which is given in moles. You need to find out the concentration, that is N value, number of moles divided by the volume, you will get the concentration. Make sure you are writing the concentration part correctly, and you are forming the QC ka equation also properly, because if you didn't form this equation properly, means moles raised to, you need to write the moles part in the raised to part, yes or no? So moles we are going to write in raised to. So if you don't raise to by 3 or 2 or whatever number it is given, you will ultimately get the wrong answer. These are the few small mistakes that students do during the exam, okay? So I want you to be careful in those parts. Am I clear with this? Otherwise this question is very easy. I'm hoping you understood this question very well, okay? Thank you for watching Study Live.